Mark of the beast, and more than likely why you gonna take it. So look, it's a setup, y'all. Basically, they not gonna do it now because you too comfortable. You got a lot of comfortability still. You got some normality to you, and if you haven't noticed, everything has been leading up to that day when they introduce it right now. So we just gonna hop into it. Now these are just my thoughts of how I think it's gonna play out. Could play out differently. Take it with a grain of salt. Add your own opinion. Do what you gotta do. Do your research on your Bible. Read back. Get back to me. Feel what I'm saying? But hop into it. So look, it's gonna start off right. It's already been leading up. They took the Medicaid away. Well, they starting to try to take it away or whatever. Make it more difficult for you to get on health and everything like that, and stamps. You know, all that type of stuff that be helping people, right? Okay, they taking their hand back now. Okay, what's next? If you haven't noticed by now, everything that's leading up from the tariffs to the Mexicans getting deported off the farms has been leading up to famine. If you don't read, you should probably start immediately. Has been leading up to famine. Okay, what happens with famine? No more food, no more water. People got kids out here. No more stamps. Food ain't even in the stores no more. Stamps don't matter. Right? Okay. So then, once the famine comes, people gonna get desperate off the famine alone. Because there's no more food, as I said, and no more water. Nowhere. Off the shelves. So if you ain't having it in your house already, for you and yours, you getting desperate, right? Now, to the people that still got a little something, okay, you may have a little something, but how long is that little something gonna last? Okay, so you may have a little cushion, but not much. We're gonna move on. Then, power outages gonna start happening. Whether you like it or not, you finna lose power. You're gonna lose power, you're gonna lose food, you're gonna lose government assistance. That's 3 important things. After that, what happens when you lose those 3? Okay, I'm gonna tell you what happened. People get desperate out here, especially fathers, mothers, people that just want to survive. You feel what I'm saying? You're gonna start doing stuff you ain't never think you could do before. I'm gonna tell you that right now. As somebody that's been in that type of mind, you're gonna do some stuff you ain't never thought you could do before. You gonna do some grimy shit you ain't never think that you would even be capable of doing. You ain't even gonna think that that's your actions at the time. I ain't even gonna hold you. You gonna I'm trying to tell you, don't trust nobody during that time. Do not trust nobody. Your own brother will probably stab you in the back for a small little piece of bread, gang. So boom. Now we're gonna move on. So after a little bit of this time of famine, no power, no anything, pretty much, you back to the Stone Age, right? After a little bit of that, I don't know how exactly long that's gonna last for, but I'm willing to bet it's gonna be probably a few weeks max. Because if it's like, and I feel like if it's anything more than a month, that's gonna be too much. That's gonna be too much death. You know, you still gotta have people to rule over. So, boom. Then they gonna come back with the normality. Then they gonna get everything running up, supposedly, right? Everything gonna start trying to come back running, and that's when they gonna implement the beast system. After they come back with their normality. So, in turn for you being able to go back to power, food in the stores, and you know, just like a basic sense of how it was, you're gonna try to go back to that. But in return, they want you to take this mark. Now, people who just don't read the Bible, who don't believe, they're going to take it no hesitation off back. They, more than likely, they may not even know what's going on while the famine is happening. Not even knowing that this is just showing you, like, tribulation is real. Like, now it's getting real. You feel me? Now, if you read, you're going to know what's happening. You more than likely have already prepared. See what I'm saying? But like I said, if you didn't, you're going to be blindsided, unfortunately. But like I said, okay, so boom, that's when they implement the mark of the beast. I feel like when they bring back the normality, because it makes sense. Like I said, it's a setup.
All right, you get the gist. So, Shalom. First off, I want to give our praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Rakakadash. I want to give double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone, to rule well and teach well, and salutations to the Akim, the pushing his truth, in all honesty and sincerity across the four corners of the earth. All right, so the Jake, pretty much, his own game on the prophecies that's coming to pass. All right, this devil about to come down with great wrath. He about to starve the people out and take some of his incentives he gave to the people away. All right, it's going to affect everybody by the way of the big, beautiful bill. All right. So I had this up on a previous video. All right, it's Joel chapter 2, verse 1. It says, blow ye the trumpet in Zion and sound an alarm in my holy mountain. Let all the inhabitants of the land tremble, for the day of the Lord cometh, for it is nigh at hand. A day of darkness and of gloominess, a day of clouds and of thick darkness, as the morning spread upon the mountains, a great people and a strong, there have not been ever the like, neither shall be any more after it, even to the years of many generations. But we're blowing that trumpet and we sounding the alarm. All right, we, warned our people, prophesied for, pretty much years. All right, telling them what's to come. But you finally can see it coming down the pipe. All right. So let me get Revelation chapter 13. All right. And I'm starting verse 13. It says, and he doeth great wonders, so that he maketh fire come down from heaven on the earth in the sight of men, and deceiveth them that dwell on the earth by the means of those miracles which he had power to do in the sight of the beast, saying to them that dwell on the earth, that they should make an image to the beast which had the wound by the sword and did live. So this devil about to do great wonders. All right. Recently I saw a dude on TikTok, playing Call of Duty, which I believe was fake though, playing Call of Duty with some kind of module with his mouth. All right, but we know that this devil, Elon Musk, they got the brain implants that make people be able to play games with their mind, which they very well could be deceitful. All right, they just trying to, lead people to lean more to receive that technology. All right, but we're not ignorant of the devices or the wiles of this devil. We're not ignorant of his tactics, man. All right, but we know it's going to be a system that's going to come, and we know they're going to begin with starving people out by the way of famine, or affecting people money. All right, everything going digital. Some people might not be allowed to get into their accounts. Their bank's going to be like, oh, we don't have the money, this and that. All right, certain stores going to stop accepting Federal Reserve notes. All right. They're going to give out food rations and all this, man. Everything that the brother said in the video going to play a part of this, all right? And the setup is being set right now. Verse 15. And he had power to give life unto the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should both speak and cause that as many as would not worship the image of the beast should be killed. All right, so if you don't take that, they're going to off you pretty much. All right, got many ways to do so. We know beheading is one of them. All right. So this devil is going to come down with great wrath because they have but a short time. All right, he's going to try to set up his new system, his NWO, so-called. But he ain't going to have time to do so, man. Hey, he's a day short. All right. Verse 16, and he calls of all, both small and great, rich and poor, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their forehead. So, it don't matter who you are, he's going to cause you to take that mark, either in your hands or in your head or any part of your body, man. All right. Verse 17, and that no man might buy or sell, say he that had the mark or the name of the beast or the number of his name. So they ain't gonna be able to do nothing without it. But they're gonna try to push people in a corner to beg for it, all right? When the pandemic happened, there was a test run, all right? They only let a certain amount of people in the stores, all right? It had to be, a certain amount of spaced apart from people. Ironically, they had the number 6, all right? Put 3 of them together, that's the number of the mark. All right. So, that was just a test run, man. To see how docile the people are, or how willing majority will be willing to accept or be able to follow orders. All right. Right here, 18, here's wisdom. Let him that have understanding count the number of the beast, for as the number of a man, and its number is 600, 6. So 666, which that would make up in the barcode. All right. So yes, everything that guy said is backed up by the way of scriptures. He more than likely, watched the videos, because everything he said can be backed up with scriptures, man. Let's see, it's 15 or 16. All right. Right. Where is it? Slovakia. So this second Ezra chapter 16, verse 17, it says, woe is me, who will deliver me in those days? The beginning of sorrows and great mournings, the beginning of famine and great death, the beginning of wars, and the powers shall stand in fear. The beginning of evils, what shall I do when these evils shall come? So Ezra said, woe is me, who will deliver me in those days? So he knew how bad it would get. All right, it's the beginning of sorrows, man. All right, gonna be famine and great death, man. A lot of people gonna perish, just like what the brother said in the video, what the guy said. It's gonna be a lot of death within that frame of, no more food in these stores and all these different things. All right, which for someone to perish and bug out completely, it got to be broadcast on a wide scale. All right, and they gotta go a while without food, 2 weeks. Which these people are gluttonous anyway, so 2 weeks would do a number on these people. But for them to fully bug out, got to be broadcast as a nationwide thing. are there's people, just gonna lose hope. Or it gotta be something major for these people to bug out and know that safety is not coming, that salvation ain't coming to them, right? For them to bug out in that time period before the system, which they could be, they might try to have push it simultaneously. All right, so like I can't say that word. Right, it might try to push it at the same time. All right, but hey, we know that they're gonna do something major to push these people, try to force their hand. All right, just like how we had a storm, Hurricane Helene. The power was out. For the most part, a lot of people went almost a week, maybe 2 weeks without, power, and some of these grocery stores was lacking food, but people could travel to other areas, all right, to look for food. But imagine you traveling for miles and not finding nothing. So that would make someone lose hope and take drastic measures, man. All right. So let me just drop down. So it says, go back to 15. Let me see. All right. So this second Ezra chapter 15. I'm gonna start at verse 14. Says, "Woe to the world and them that dwell therein, for the sword and their destruction draweth nigh, and when people shall stand up and fight against another, and swords in their hands." So they gonna get the guns. People gonna put matters in their own hands. All right, mainly, searching for food or try to protect their families. All right, from people trying to scavenge for food and things. Because once food not in the grocery stores, all right, they're gonna go to the next best thing, and that's they next door neighbors or certain neighborhoods. All right, try to ravish their goods. All right. All right, so verse 16, "For there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor princes. In the course of their power, in the course of their actions, shall stand in their power." So it's going to be sedition among men, be invading one another, fighting, killing, all right, stealing from each other. All right, so they're going to put actions in their own hands. All right, since, the government or whoever is not coming to save them, they're going to, be in a mindset to save themselves. Just like what the dude said. Like, a lot of these people ain't gonna be able to trust their own family. He said even, like into like your brother, say you got a worldly nigga brother, he'll, slime you out, as they say, for, whatever, for food. He'll try to delete you or he'll harm you for his safety. All right. That's how a lot of families are. They selfish. There's not really no love there. They do whatever, is necessary to ensure their survival, man. All right, verse 17, "A man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able." Like I brought up about that storm, that's why it was a very humbling experience and an eye opener. But we already knew how things can change in a matter of a day. But when that happened, nobody expected that. Everybody was trying to go into the cities, and it nothing was open. The storm really shook things up. That's the main place where everybody was trying to go. You know, traffic was backed up. All right. It was just wild, man. All right. Verse 18, for because of their pride, the city shall be troubled, the houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid. All right. They'll let you know how serious the time's going to be. The men going to be afraid. All right. The mighty men going to cry bitterly in that day. It's going to get real, man. Really real, man. All right. In verse 19 says, and a man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword and spoil their goods because of the lack of bread and for great tribulation, man. So they have no pity, man. Men ain't gonna have no pity on their neighbor, but shall destroy their house with the sword and just gonna ransack it, find whatever they can, and on to the next. And if you in there, they more than likely will delete you, man, or harm you very bad, man. All right. You know, because hey, if you seen someone that's in the spirit of doing something and they life on the line, they dead serious, man. All right? When it comes to survival, man, people just have a spirit of survival of the fittest, man. And as men, you know, they can get very brutal. It's like, you know, men that go to war, you know, they got a spirit of, oh, I'm going to make it out this battle, man. I'm going to fight to the death. So you see a man with that look on his face that's very scary and can be very intimidating, man, but it's very well what's going to happen in that day. All right, because it's going to be a lack of bread, man, and great tribulation, judgment, all right, a lot of things going on, all right, and that food going to play a big role, you know, the famine, all right, going to play a big role of getting a lot of people out of here because you got people that's numbered to the famine and numbered to the slaughter, and both of them can, you know, work within each other, all right? Because by people not trying to die of the famine, all right, they're going to slaughter people, all right? A lot of people going to just do it just because it's going to be pretty much free game, all right, on some purge type stuff. So it's a lot that's going to go down. But, you know, they have what is called order ab chaos. They want to try to establish order out of the chaos, man. So, hey, just as iron rusteth, so does the wickedness of the devil, man. The wickedness of our enemy, man. All right, you can't trust him, man. All right, he trying to put you in a corner so he can benefit himself in the long run. So, you know, that's all I have right now. Lord willing is edifying. With that being said, shalom.